We're here with Eli and Fur. Sunday night, nation's capital here in Ottawa, Mercury Lounge. Being familiar with the settings, I know what to expect tonight, but do you have any ideas what you're walking into?
Not really.
But it's kind of fun. I like that.
Yeah.
No, you never know what you're going to expect, especially the first time playing somewhere. I guess that's the exciting thing.
It's always fun going somewhere new.
Yeah. So we'll see.
So you were in Toronto on Friday. I heard a lot of hype around the event there. And you do a lot of traveling. I've seen you on video from Ibiza down south. Is it still something that you're used to, or are you really, really tired of traveling right now? And is that's the worst thing about touring?
I mean, it's really fun. You do get tired. Like, we hate flying. But yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah, I guess it is the worst part of everything, because obviously the gigs are amazing, and when you're there and you're doing it, it's awesome. And obviously being in the studio is great, but the parts in between, of like not getting that much sleep, is always but I mean, it's worth it to do what we do, because it's a lot of fun. And so yeah, there's good points and bad points.
Have you managed to be able to incorporate it into a routine, or is it still like, oh, I got to get on the plane, and then you just sort of try to zonk out and move from there?
I think you can try and do a lot of things to help yourself. So reading is something I've taken up because that kills time on the plane. But yeah, just trying to look after yourself, really. Just trying to nap when you can. It is hard a lot. I think the challenges as well is the parties are always so fun. Yeah. And if you've got like 9 shows all together and you like to, I mean, obviously we like to party because that's one of the reasons we got into it. But you almost have to like hold yourself back because you don't want to burn out. So I think that's also a challenge. And you also want to have a lot of fun. So there's sometimes a bit of, you kind of have to say, right, I'm going to like take myself home and be you're quite good at that. Sometimes I'm a little bit like woo. So we balance each other out quite well, because we're always just like, we gotta take it seriously and pace ourselves and yeah, but it's a lot of fun. It really is.
Can you think of the last time you had a little break to yourselves?
Well, actually,
last week we had a week off before we came. So we had a week to like do so. I mean, we were working, but we were like,
that was our first week not
DJing.
Like not DJing on a week, having a weekend off. So that was pretty nice, especially before the tour. It is really nice, and it's also just really nice to be able to make music for a stretch of time without going on the road. Because when you play like three gigs in a week, 3 or 4 gigs in a weekend, or even 2 or whatever, to get back into the swing of things is sometimes quite difficult. And I know some people find it easy, but I think it is 2 different mindsets. I think traveling and playing gigs and stuff, and then it's nice to just have like a full-on, like you see the week ahead of you, like, okay, now we've got this amazing space to make music, and that's a really good space to be in. So yeah.
What's the production setup, or are you pretty minimal and you can do it while you're on the plane or in the hotel?
I mean, I do quite a lot of stuff on the plane. Like a lot of ideas start on the plane, and then obviously sometimes they'll sound a bit off. But yeah, like stuff starts on the plane, and then we use Ableton, we use Logic, we just sort of
we don't have a lot of gear because we've never really worked with gig. Just from a like financial point of view, that was never something that we had at the start. So we're pretty much used to working all within the computer and just with plugins and stuff. But I think we've got some studio time in January, February, March, where we're actually going to be in a studio with some fun gear. So that's going to be exciting because, it's always been pretty minimal.
Do either of you have classical training, or is it just something that you found you loved, you found an angle that works for you and you go with it?
I mean, we both play. I mean, Fur plays. We're both self-taught, I guess, with keyboard and guitar.
I was never like trained. Like the way I got into music was really strange. I mean, it was through you. But I just got a job at a music production company and just learned everything there. But I wasn't even doing music when I got that job, so it was crazy.
But I think interestingly, the thing is, because I haven't had classical training, but I did study music technology, and I've played instruments since I was younger. But it's nice having different perspectives I genuinely think like you see things in a completely different way, and I don't know, I feel like it's a stronger talent, and I don't know if that's, I always think it's interesting to see whether people, whether or not you've trained, if you're trained to do something or you're naturally talented, it's very different. I don't know what would happen if you were naturally talented and trained, or like if people have learned stuff or it's just it's difficult to know. But I think Fur's quite an interesting example of someone who's just like super talented without doing anything. You just got into it and you were just like, so I don't know. It's cool.
If you had a chance to jump into someone's mind for a day, who would it be?
Oh, that's really difficult.
I mean, musically or just completely randomly? Oh God.
I would say musically for one, but whoever answers musically, the other person has to answer otherwise.
Ah, nice.
So make a quick, yeah.
Oh no, it's too hard.
I don't. Would you prefer me to answer musically or something different? I mean, I think it would be interesting to get into the minds of politicians. I think that's really interesting to find out. Like, I just find it interesting because you're putting on a facade or whatever for the public or whatever what actually certain people think. I find really interesting, but I mean, no one's specific. I mean, musically, probably.
That's
I'm
a really
gonna
tough
answer.
question.
I mean, he's not alive anymore, but I mean Michael Jackson probably, just because I'm such a huge fan, and I think he's incredibly he's insanely talented, and he's so interesting and weird and wacky. Was so interesting and weird and wacky as a person, so that would be pretty insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
I think that's a hard question.
I'd really have to think.
One of the other questions I used to ask was if you could change for a day with someone, who would it be? And do all the things that they would do. And most of the DJs would say, oh, Calvin Harris just for the money. Let's do a gig and walk out with whatever he came out with, right? So if you get to take that with you, that would be kind of fun as well. So
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, well.
That is clever. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to be someone like a huge superstar for a day, like someone like Justin Bieber, with like a huge team around you, and just like, or Rihanna, or just like a massive like pop star, and to see what that would actually be like. And I find that fascinating.
have you had any runnings in with types of people like that before, where you were kind of a little starstruck over it?
I get so starstruck. Beyonce and Jay-Z at Coachella, they were like standing.
Yeah, I was
Really
like,
close.
my mouth just dropped open. I was like, oh my God.
Because when you see people like that you've seen on TV all the time, whatever, and
It's crazy.
it's just I'm so we both get so starstruck,
I got
don't we?
starstruck when I saw Lana Del Rey,
Yeah,
just because she was something else.
Definitely. I think you're either a starstruck kind of someone who gets starstruck, or you're not. I think we definitely are.
Yeah.
For sure.
Is there someone that you would like to be able to work with that you haven't had the chance to?
I think on a more commercial level, I really like Tame Impala. I just love everything about, and I love the fact that Rihanna sang that song and put it on her album, and it sounded so different. But I actually heard, I weirdly heard the Rihanna version before I'd found out about the Tame Impala thing, and
Oh, you saw the
and I was like, this song's amazing. Like, this is so different. Doesn't even sound like her. Like, and then I found out, and I was like, wow, that's just incredible. It's just such a good song.
I think we both were really interested in we have done it in the past, but continue to songwrite, and it would be amazing to songwrite for an act that is slightly different, in a different space. I don't know who that would be, but I think that's always an interest for us, because obviously when the music that we play is, it's quite sort of, it's like it's a small world. Yeah. I mean, it's a big world, but it's nice to go out and push your boundaries and do different things. And we started off writing pop, and then we moved into house and techno, and to go back to that would be great.
Now, you're obviously very close. You work together. Can you think of one thing that really bugs you about the other? And we'll limit it to just one thing. How's that?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's not a lot. We get on really well.
Oh, okay. Eli always loses her phone charger, and then I'm always the one who gets blamed.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's like a daily occurrence.
But it's funny that little things like that do, when you're touring, can be really irritating. I'm trying to think what you do. I don't know, you worry a little too much sometimes when you don't need to. But I don't know, I think we're quite good at balancing each other out.
Yeah.
I think if it's ever if there's ever annoying things, it's little things like that, like, oh. But it's usually me. It's usually, I was like, Eli, where have you put this and where have you put that or whatever. So I'm just very disorganized, I guess.
You're getting better.
Thanks. Yeah.
She started to unpack her bag. It's really good. She like folds everything now.
Yeah, I do.
All part of the road and the tour, right? So I guess we're coming up to your set time in a little bit. Do you have anything special in the next little while that you're looking forward to playing, whether it's yours or something else that you just really love at the moment?
Probably just new tracks that we made. It's always fun, like testing them out, seeing their reaction from people. So there's a couple of brand new ones that we'll test out.
Yeah, that's always so much fun.
Yeah.
And actually, just because before here we were in the studio, it's quite nice. We've had like 3 or 4 new ones that we're sort of testing. That's really fun to get a response as well. Like we played one last night and it went down well. So it's just like a great feeling, I think, especially if it's your own creation.
Where were you again last night?
Chicago Samba.
So, really quickly, was there a big difference between Toronto and Chicago?
Yeah. I mean, they were quite different clubs to me, but I loved Coda. I thought it was awesome, like the crowd, everything about it. I mean, not that I didn't like Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh.
No,
but you know what I mean? It was...
Also, we haven't played there before.
Yeah.
It's always nice having an experience like that. It's also a bigger club. But it was, last night we weren't headlining. We were
It was kind of a last minute thing.
Yeah. It was a last minute support gig. It's always nice to be playing the headline slot, getting all the attention. No, but it was really fun, and it was the first one, and it was really fun. I would agree. I second that.
Excellent. And just because we're doing the Canadian thing, is there a Canadian producer or artist that you kind of like right now?
Do you know Forrest?
Montreal.
He's from Montreal.
He's the best.
We've worked with him before, and he's a mate of ours. And I would say we always like to big up and coming acts. So I reckon he would be our tip. I think he's great.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Got a really good voice.
I feel like he'll be on the show very shortly. Thank you so much for the time. I wish you all the best tonight and the rest of the travels. And hopefully we'll get to catch up down somewhere warm at, say, BPM.
Yeah,
I hope so. Great. Yeah, I'm really hoping we make it there. So, yeah, see you there. See you at BPM.